Good afternoon, everyone. This is Caroline Fountain with the Greater Carolinas region of the American Red Cross. And joining me this afternoon is Robert Griffin. He is on his way to Alabama right now from North Carolina. He is going to be helping out with pre-positioning, getting everything ready if and when Hurricane Delta makes landfall where we are expecting it to.
So when we arrive in Mobile, we will check in and then we will report to the headquarters. We'll maintain our social distancing, our mask, making sure we have plenty of hand sanitizers as well as an opportunity to wash our hands. And we will go right to work coordinating the services. And as the mass care chief, it'll be my responsibility to coordinate with the sheltering coordinator, the feeding lead, the distribution of emergency supplies lead, and the reunification if we have that position open, so that there's no duplication of efforts. We're making the maximum efficient resource of both our material resources as well as our human capital needs that we have on the ground for this hurricane.
Now, before we came online, you were telling me that you got up very, very early this morning. Tell me about just the process so far for you.
So today we had decided that we needed to be there by lunchtime or shortly after. So I got up at 3:30 this morning, and we've been driving. I'm riding with one of the other folks that's going down with us, and we've been driving since I picked her up at about 4:45 this morning, and we've got about another hour and 45 minutes to go before we get to Mobile. And Mobile's in the central time, so we're falling back an hour, and we'll work this afternoon in headquarters, getting to know folks, getting to understand how to coordinate things across the different districts that we'll have in operation out of headquarters. And we'll work till about 7 or 8 tonight Central Time before we'll be released or we'll start heading out to where we'll stay.
So tell me, why are you traveling today? Why are you not, waiting until the hurricane hits potentially and then responding then? Like, why today?
It's a great question, and the answer is simply the coordination of setting things up. So as the vast majority of our volunteer workforce arrives later tonight and especially tomorrow, we can have an organization structure to where every individual, when they arrive, will know who their supervisor may be, so who they report to, what their job function will be, and what their job location will be, so that as they arrive, they feel more secure to be able to provide the clients the very best services that we possibly can.
Is there anything in particular that you're anticipating as you drive and are about to arrive to your destination?
I think every state and every municipality, county government, parish, whatever government structure we have, does things just a little bit differently. And so therefore, for those of us that come in to assist, making sure that we work within that structure, that we don't alienate any other government partner that we work with, and that when we leave, the relationship is as good or better than it was when we arrived.
That's great. So I understand this is your second deployment within just a couple of months. You were telling me Hurricane Sally, correct?
Correct. Hurricane Sally, I came down to Pensacola, Florida, and spent about 9 days and got home less than 2 weeks ago. Saturday would be 2 weeks since I had been home, and then was asked to come back down here and readily agreed, because I know the hurricane, if it comes back into the Gulf and it regains its strength, then the resources that we have been stretched this year, and therefore it was incumbent that we do as much as we can.
What I've really been impressed with over the past weeks, months, is that several of our volunteers and employees have stepped up multiple times as yourself, not only deploying once, but deploying twice, maybe even another time than that. And it really makes it imperative to share how important it is for folks to volunteer at this point. I know the biggest need that we have currently is shelter volunteers to deploy and be there on the ground to help. What are maybe a few things that they would be doing were they to deploy?
Absolutely. So a shelter worker um, would be working in what we call a congregate shelter. So our clients would be on cots, have blankets. We would provide food, would provide water and snacks. Our health services would provide nursing, then disaster health services for them. They'd help them with other things that, for example, I wear glasses, and if I'd lost my glasses and was a client, assist me in how to get some pair of glasses. If I didn't have my dentures and I wore dentures, that helped me with a dentist. If I didn't have what prescription medicines, our mental health folks, our spiritual care folks are vitally important. And those shelter workers are that conduit to the needs of the clients. So they're providing that consistency of the Red Cross of how we provide that overall one Red Cross service to any of those folks that have to be sheltered because of the hurricane. You know, there's tasks that we all have to do in the COVID world. We're cleaning those constant contact surfaces a lot more often with special cleaning supplies. We're wearing masks. We're making sure that folks are using the hand sanitizers and washing their hands, and basically providing our clients with the very best possible service we can, so that as the situation mitigates itself, those that come out of the shelter and go back home feel like that they were provided a temporary respite away from home as the very best possible manner that we could do it.
That's fantastic. And from what I understand, it's a relatively quick training. You can sign up today. You can sign up now, redcross.org/volunteer today. There for shelter volunteers, 5 hours of training to be done within 2 days of it being assigned to you, and then expecting to be deployed within a very short period of time after that. So the need is great. The opportunity is there. And I know before we started our live broadcast here, Robert, you were sharing that it's a privilege to be able to go out on deployment. Tell me a little bit more about that.
So I retired from my normal job and wanted to continue working. And this job, even as a volunteer, when you deploy to another area that's experiencing some type of disaster, you're providing that helping hand. You're providing that service to those folks that in many cases have nowhere else to turn. That in many cases, we're the only friendly face that they're going to see. In many cases, they've lost their home. In many cases, they have no idea what condition their home will be when they go back. And so there, we provide a comfort, an arm to lean on, an ear to listen. And it's those volunteers that we work with are just fantastic individuals. And most of them take it as a privilege to be able to go out and assist our folks throughout the North Carolina, Greater Carolinas, or the nation. And I do want to add the fact that this year has been an extremely taxing year, and on our paid as well as volunteer workforce. Between all the hurricanes, we're already into the Alpha, or the Greek naming regime. We've had the wildfires out west. We've still got people from Greater Carolinas in California and Oregon now, as well as several of us that are either en route or will be en route tomorrow to this hurricane. And so the need this year has been constant and ongoing. This is my third deployment since August, one to Eastern North Carolina for Hurricane Isaias, and then, as we talked about, Sally less than 2 weeks ago, and now to this one. And it really is for me an honor and a privilege to be able to provide some technical as well as managerial experience so that our clients have a good hello, that they come into the shelters, that they feel like they're welcomed, they feel like some of the burden's been taken off before they leave. And so I really do think this is a great opportunity for anyone that would like to volunteer and assist.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Robert. And I do also want to briefly mention that while there are many needs there on the ground, that there's also many opportunities to be a volunteer deploying virtually. I know that this year in particular, because of COVID, we have increased the number of positions that are able to be virtual. I know for folks who are supporting people who have been devastated by the hurricanes or wildfires, they're able to follow up and get them connected to resources. We've got counselors helping out after dealing with that kind of a devastation. So there's definitely opportunities to work from your home as well. So if you're maybe not comfortable at this point to go out in person during COVID, feel free to connect with us as well. redcross.org/volunteer today. There are virtual opportunities that you can take advantage of from the comfort of your home. So Robert, thank you so much for your time. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for going and deploying a third time this season. And I hope to hear more about your deployment as the days progress. But thank you so much for your time.
It has been my extreme pleasure. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you. All right. Thank you all so much for watching.